How you doing, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about a bill that Donald Trump passed. Might not know of it. I'm going to show you some video of it. They talking about it. It called H.R.1242. They make it sound all good and fine and, try to uplift so-called African American in this country. But it's deeper than that. And I'm going to tell you, it's biblical also. These people took your history book, which would be the Bible, King James Version. You notice they changed a whole bunch of new Bible and IV and all this kind of stuff to cause more confusion. But what I mean about, they've been really studying this book because they know this is your book. This is like an owner manual for you. You are, how can I say, the merchandise. And first of all, I'm going to tell you, we need to go to, scriptures, a couple of scriptures here that I want you guys to take a look at. Don't take my word for anything. You got to do the research for yourself. We got to remember the time when we was in Egypt. When we was in Egypt, we served, and we're going to go to the scriptures. Let's go to Exodus 12 and 40. Okay? Exodus 12 and 40. And it reads, "Now they sojourn of the children of Israel who dwelled in Egypt was 430 years. 430 years. That's very significant because when we was in captivity in Egypt, we served 430 years before Moses came and delivered us out of Egypt. Now, I'm going to show you where they get the so-called honoring the African American in this country. Okay, let's go to Genesis chapter 15, verse 12 and through 15. It's very important, and I want you to look very keen and go in the scriptures and see it for yourself, what they up to. They know who we are. Okay, so let's go to Genesis chapter 15 and 12, and it reads, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of a great darkness fell upon him. 13. And he said unto Abram, Know of certainty that the seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for, get this, 400 years. See, we was going to be in a land. It's not ours. They brought us here, guess when? 1619. Okay? And what this bill is very significant and show you they know who we are. Because what would, from 1619 to when would be 400 years. It would be 2019, right? 2019. What is the significance of that? That will show you that they took our book, told us no reading, no writing, not because of their book, because of our Holy King James Bible. This book is here. This is our only manual of us. They know who we are. All the nations know who we are. But what they do, they divide us to conquer us. The so-called Northern Kingdom, Native American, they've been here over 400 years. They went into slavery in 1492. 1492. The first slave did not come from Africa. So-called African American came from Spain. Then they came on the west coast of Africa and got us. But what the Bible clearly tells us, we're going to serve over 400 years. But don't get it twisted. We don't know the time nor the hour, because they change time and date also. They change it to cause more confusion amongst us. And our women, I'm sadly to say, but I want you guys to really know something. They're using you guys quite well. What do I mean by that? In the beginning, Eve, Adam and Eve, it was the woman that transgressed God's law. The serpent approached her. The churches make you seem like that it was Adam had failed. Yeah, he did fail by listening to the woman. And still to this day, that's still the formula that they use. Let me give you a little food for thought. Prior to the so-called new millennium, the so-called, and I call it so-called, we are Israelite, African Americans, we was a close-knit family. Even in slavery, we was a close-knit family. But they always go after the woman. Because if our women really think back, when was the separation? When it was the time that the so-called black man ruled over you in hardship? In the early 1920s and all this kind of stuff, when, we both got our independence, slavery and all this stuff, which is nonsense. It's just a different form of slavery. But the black man and the black woman was close-knitted. The children was better behaved. The Native American man and the Latin woman was the same way. But they focusing on Judah, because we were supposed to be the one that raised up all the tribes of Israel. So they have to definitely destroy that part of the Israelite. They don't want that to come to pass. They know what this word is saying on the surface. They can't break the code down because they are not the children of Israel. It's dreadful to them. They cannot break this Bible down. Only God going to raise up the prophet, which He's doing today. That's why you hear Israelite, but in the media they say black Hebrew Israelite. Everything black is supposed to be a negative connotation on top of it. Now back to the women. Think about it. In the 1960s, early 1960s and all that, with the black power movement and all that, the black woman was right next to her man. The kid was well behaved. It wasn't a lot of broken homes like that. And if we had some, the whole village would raise that child. Because I can remember as a small child, if I do something wrong, even my neighbors can whip my behind. That kept us in order. When we used to go to stores and walk into stores, we used to see the little white Caucasian kids falling out on the floor. We'll sit there and look at them like amazed, like, look, we'll get our behind whooped. It ain't because our parents did not love us. Actually, they truly did love us. But nowadays, a lot of parents don't love their kids because they're serving them up. They're going to either serve them to the jail cell or the graveyard. They're serving them up to the system. The system tell you, oh, you cannot discipline your kid. But what do the scriptures tell you? Spare the rod, spoil the child. So who are you truly serving? Black women, I'm not going to get off you right now, because the key is right to you. They come right to you. You're in that Garden of Eve again. And you got the serpent running up to you, telling you, this time, it's your choice. You can be whoever you want to be. You can abort your kid if you want to. That's your body. Your man don't have no say. And it sounds good to you, right? No, that's another form of genocide. To get rid of your kid. Now you walk around here with a stiff neck. Won't even say hello to your brother. Most of you ain't gonna say all sisters. You won't even say hello to your brother. You hate your brother, but you will run to your enemy, that old serpent, and you will lie with him. If you cannot respect a black man right now on this earth, I got news for you. When Christ come back, you're going to also see he is a black man. If you can't respect him here, how you going to respect the king? How you going to respect God? It's impossible. I ain't telling you get a man who's not living right. That ain't what I'm telling you. But I'm telling you, you better come back before it's too late. You hate yourself. Blonde hair, somebody else's hair, they taught you you was ugly. And you bought into it. Now they pushing women lives again. They give you more and more distance between you and your man. Because they see your man is waking up. So they have to push that. And DNA. They push that also. Aren't you tired? Stop selling your kids out. And men, it ain't just the woman. You have to come back to your rightful place. Ain't you sick and tired of being sick and tired? They don't love you. They lie in the media constantly. Because they're rich folks rule it. That's why God said wickedness in high places. The economy is good. Black unemployment is down. Nonsense. If you keep saying it long enough, people will start to believe it. And a lot of our people regurgitate what they hear and still are coming back to God's law, statutes, and amendment and do what their God told them to do. We all do not have the same God. God even told us we will be serving other gods of wood and stone. So if we all have the same God, why would he put that in there? Because we want to run to all the other nations, still are running back to this book.
Thank you and good morning. I'm so thrilled to work together with my friend Congressman Scott and Senator Warner and our other colleagues here. You'll hear from Congressman Butterfield right after me, and then Congressman Beyer as well, in this very important bill, the 400 Years of African American History Commission Act. Why am I so passionate about this bill? When I was the governor of Virginia in 2007, we had a massive celebration around the 400th anniversary of the English contributions to the United States of America, beginning with the settlement of Jamestown in 1607. And it wasn't just a celebration. There was also a federal commission voted on, passed, and funded by Congress that was part of those events to say these contributions are worthy of recognition. As a senator last year in 2015, I played a role in the celebration about 450 years of the Hispanic roots of the United States with the founding of St. Augustine, Florida by the Spaniards in 1565. And I was in St. Augustine in September with the King and Queen of Spain to do that. Again, it wasn't just a celebration. It was a federal commission voted on, passed, and funded by Congress that said the contributions of the Hispanic settlement are worthy of recognition today. Well, if English lives matter, if Latino lives matter, then African American lives matter, and they mattered every day since the landing of those 20 and odd African Americans. That was the phrase that was used in the Bill of Lading at Point Comfort, Virginia in 1619. And that's what this bill is about. Now, the story is a very different story, and it's got a lot of pain associated with it. Not that everything was smooth for the English in Jamestown, not that everything was smooth for the Hispanic settlement in St. Augustine, but this is a unique story because it begins with people captured off a Portuguese slave ship and brought to this nation against their will. And those 20 were the beginning of what became millions who were held in slavery and then in second-class status. I was thinking
Peace, love, and light to all of you. It's your girl Ada with Zion today, coming to you here with another live topic. I just want to say thank you once again for all of my subscribers, the recent individuals who took the time out to hear me out and actually checked out my page. I do highly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I want to jump right on in to the topic today that we're going to be talking about, which is about the HR 1242 African American History Commission Act. What it is it's celebrating the 400 years that the quote-unquote African American has been in the United States. But in the words of Dr. Khalid Muhammad, he said that white folks do indeed lie. I just really want to be able to have individuals be critical of what's being presented by this government. We are not to trust them in any way, shape, or form. This act being passed is a start, and it is definitely going to snowball into us eventually getting out of here with our great possessions that the Most High promised us, that we would come out of a land of our captors, the land that, we were in, and we would come out with great possessions. This is the beginning of that. And this is definitely prophecy being fulfilled in celebrating that 400th year, which they are saying that history shows that a group of slaves came in 1619 to Virginia, in Port Comforts, Virginia, on aboard a slave ship, and the 2019, how they're all getting this ready to go. The 400-year prophecy is almost fulfilled. So we should definitely be paying attention to this bill and see where it goes within the House, and to see if what they're saying will actually be done. Pretty much the act talks about how, they're going to give monies to nonprofit organizations to commemorate the celebration of quote-unquote African American people, and their what they've given to this country and how they've built it up. We need to acknowledge that as the quote-unquote American people. We need to do more for them and acknowledge their work and what they put in for this country. Don't think that this is from the kindness of their hearts, because it's not. This is actually wrapping up the end of our captivity, and they know what they've done, and they know exactly who we are as the indigenous people of this planet, as well as the Most High's chosen children from the beginning of time. They know exactly who we are. They know exactly what they've done, and what they want to do is try to pay, give us money to see we're giving them money. See, they think that they can pay their way out of it. And they cannot, and they will not, because judgment is divine, and it is coming, and it cannot be stopped, and it will overtake our enemies. And they think that they can get out of it by giving us this money and, giving us these programs that we're to be, quote unquote, so grateful and thankful for, to be acknowledged about. No, the only reason why they're doing this, family, is to, prevent the judgment, prevent their massive judgment in what they've done to the children of the Most High around the world. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to, stop the wrath of the Most High devouring them in any way, shape, or form, But I'm going to definitely post the link to the bill below, so you can definitely look at it and research it for yourself. Don't allow anyone to tell you what it is or what it says. You study to show yourself approved, and understand and pay attention to what's really going on, because this is the beginning of the prophecy being fulfilled, and how the Most High promised us that we would come out of this country, out of this system, with the wealth of the nations. And this is the beginning of that. So definitely pay attention to this bill. Understand what this bill represents, and definitely do your due diligence and your research. But I just wanted to make this to make people aware of the bill and what it is and what it says. Definitely research it for yourself. I'll keep saying that over and over again. Research it for yourself and understand that and what it means. And, they think that they can pay us. They think that they can pay us for the slaughter of our ancestors. They think that they can pay us for the many years of oppression and exploitation and slavery and cruelty of what we've been through. But you know what? The Most High avenges us. And when he avenges, he doesn't miss. And, you know, too late for apologies, too late for repenting. To us, it's not us you got to worry about. It's us you got to worry about, but you got to worry about the Father. And when He's coming down and what He's going to do, I don't want no parts of it. We've been down for too long, and guess what? The things that we've been going through, it's going to transfer onto the people who've oppressed us and their children for all these years. And for all you individuals who are white that are going to come on this show, on this platform, and say that I'm a racist, take it up with the Most High. Take it up with the Most High. Don't come on here saying that I'm spewing hate speech, because I am not. This is scripture and this is prophecy. It will be fulfilled and it shall be fulfilled. But I want to say thank you to all who viewed this, and I hope you all enjoy your day. Please like, please subscribe, and I just definitely want to see your comments and what you think about it and what you found out about the bill as well. Take care.
So I'll use the example of what took place in McKinney, Texas, when the young girl was body slammed by the police officer to the ground at the pool party. White women were silent. Why is that important? Because the same thing in 2007. Historically, what has happened is issues that have involved black women now has been silent. Absolutely silent. So the question then becomes, okay, are you the National Organization for Women or the National Organization for White Women? The same thing, Concerned Women for America, conservative organization. They were protesting. There were a couple of female conservative judges who they were trying to get appointed, and they were pushing Democrats on that. I said, I'm sorry, when Cheryl Watley was appointed by Bill Clinton to the North Texas federal bench, y'all were silent. I said, so don't call yourself Concerned Women for America if you only concerned about conservative white women.
Ever since the women's movement. The women's movement was a movement for white women. They might as well have been wearing placards that said, black women need not apply. And that was only allowed to happen is because we wanted to stop the civil rights movement. And white men went along with that in order to put a stop to the civil rights movement. As long as we're talking about the rights of white women, then we don't have to talk about the rights of people of other colors. As far as I'm concerned, that's what the women's movement was about. We have been advancing the cause of white women ever since the women's movement. The women's movement was a movement for white women. They might as well have been wearing placards that said, black women need not apply. And that was only allowed to happen is because we wanted to stop the civil rights movement. And white men went along with that in order to put a stop to the civil rights movement. As long as we're talking about the rights of white women, then we don't have to talk about the rights of people of other colors. As far as I'm concerned, that's what the women's movement was about. We have been advancing the cause of white women ever since the women's movement. The women's movement was a movement for white women. They might as well have been wearing placards that said, black women need not apply. And that was only allowed to happen is because we wanted to stop the civil rights movement. And white men went along with that in order to put a stop to the civil rights movement. As long as we're talking about the rights of white women, then we don't have to talk about the rights of people of other colors. As far as I'm concerned, that's what the women's movement was about. Now there's going to be another women's movement. You need to realize this. If you haven't read Ben Wattenberg's book, The Birthed Earth, you need to realize that in this country right now, we've got a whole lot of white folks who are scared to death because they know that within 30 years, white people will have lost their numerical majority in the United States of America. And if you haven't read that book in which he says, the biggest problem confronting this country today is there are too few white babies being born in this country. If we don't solve this problem and solve it quickly, white people will lose their numerical majority, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I know a whole lot of Native American people, of First Nations people, who don't think this is a white man's land. They think it's He says there are three things we can do to solve this problem. Number one, number one is we can pay women to have babies as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, unfortunately, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. Now, this man was a member of the American Enterprise Institute, an ultra-conservative right-wing think tank, and gave advice to presidents of the United States. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants allowed into this country every year. Then he says, unfortunately, the majority of people who want to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. He says the third thing we could do, and this is really scary, is realize that 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year in this country are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Now, how many of you think that sounds like blatant, overt racism? People, you need to know that the attempt to get rid of my right, or any other woman's right to have an abortion, is not about religion, it is not about morality, it is about keeping white people in the numerical majority in this country, and you better realize that's what's happening. Right now, they are trying to pass legislation, and Mr. 45 and his underlings, I refuse to say his name, because if I do, I'll have to call him what I call him, which is Donosaurus T. Rum. Oh dear, is this being televised? Oh, shit. That's all right, I'm tired of working anyway.
So Virginia was defending a law for more than 100 years where the basis was a white legislator saying, we're going to keep the dark kids from voting. So what happens is we never want to ask ourselves, where did this come from? How did we even get to this point? Which explains the struggle we keep having, because we want to say we live in a post-racial America, everything is great. Black folks listen to hip-hop, black people listen to some country music, and everything is great. Beyonce performs at the Country Music Awards, everybody is happy and wonderful until you look at the comments on the Country Music Association's website. So we have to actually look at ourselves and go, how did we get here, and how does this generation change where do we go in the future? Because we're playing games if we only are having these nice, cute conversations, but then we go home to largely white homes, largely black homes. We don't invite others into our home. We don't eat with other people. We don't talk with other people. But we say, oh, I'm not racist. I get along with everybody. Many of us are living lies every single day. Many of us are living lies every single day.
Somebody has said denial is not just a river in Egypt. In this country today, we are in deep denial about the fact that we are deeply racist. We are teaching racism in the schools on a daily basis, and if you haven't read Nathan Rutstein's book, The Racial Conditioning of Our Children, you need to get it and read it. This man knew what he was talking about. Now, somebody said this morning, he did, well, Jane came here in a sweatshirt. Yes, I came here in a sweatshirt, people, because I'm working, number one. Number two, this thing says exactly what I believe. Racism, prejudice is an emotional commitment to ignorance. Now, the problem with white people is not white innocence. Somebody this week has called in their book, has called it white innocence. It's not white innocence, and it's not white privilege. It's white ignorance. And until white people get educated to the fact that they are not superior because of a lack of melanin in their skin, that's how long we'll have this problem. And we could, don't do that, I've got more to say. Now, the problem with white people is not white innocence. Somebody this week has called in their book, has called it white innocence. It's not white innocence, and it's not white privilege. It's white ignorance. And until white people get educated to the fact that they are not superior because of a lack of melanin in their skin, that's how long we'll have this problem.
Okay, let's go to Revelation 3:9. It said, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Plain and simple. Those people over there in Israel today are not the true people of this book. They do not match the curses or none of the prophecies. The so-called blacks, Latino, and Native American fit all the curses. No other nation can claim that. None. Zero, zilch. We are waking up. We are coming back. And yes, God will deliver us. And all the nations who took us in captivity, they shall go into captivity. We will rule over them. That's the thing. You got to ask yourself a question. Is this: you love everybody. You want to get along with everybody. But all these nations hate your guts. Why? You don't have a military. You ain't trying to do them no harm. You harm yourself more than them. They come into your community and set up shop. They get up very high and you stay down very low. You serving them in your community. They take the money out of your community and put it in theirs. They know money gonna be there because you're no longer in the cotton field anymore. You're no longer in the sugarcane field anymore. You in the work field. Have you ever asked yourself a question? If you working 40 hours a week, and at the time, a lot of us working 40 hours a week. Now they don't cut that down. If you working 40 hours a week, why don't they give you a livable wage? And every time they tell you they're going to raise up the minimum wage, everything else go up. They give you illusion that you're getting something. In actuality, you're getting nothing. You're getting less. That's why more people are in the street today. That's why for a black man to be in this country, to be successful, 9 times out of 10, he got to be homosexual. And a black woman had to hate what her oppressors hate, which is the black man. The lowest common denominator in this kingdom is the black man. We under attack. They genociding us. ADHD. More black men get ADHD than any other people on the face of this planet. They'll sacrifice a couple of them like they always did even in the Holocaust for the common good for them to keep ruling and keep you asleep. Can't you see that? Ain't you tired of that? Stop being fearful. Because by you having your head in the sand, being afraid, they still come after you anyway. They like the prey will not fight back. And what I mean fight back, I ain't talking about physical fighting them back. I'm talking about spiritual with the word of God. And God will fight our battle until he awaken us, and then we will take back our kingdom. And everything belongs to us, including them. And I don't care when people say, oh, you talking hate. I ain't hate nobody in the day of my life. I never oppressed nobody in the day of my life. I don't advocate killing nobody in the day of my life. I don't keep them in the slums in the ghetto and keep them working 24/7 or keep them not working 24/7. I'm not a racist. I'm a realist. And I'm coming to the realization, my Father is the heavenly God and my King is Christ. And I know who I am. I'm a prince of God. I'm a power of God. Just long as I keep his laws, statutes, commandments, he will excel me. Even if it means my death, I'm ready to go. But I'm going to keep on doing what I'm supposed to do as long as I have a breath in my body. It's time for us to take back of our community, our responsibility. Stop looking for all the other nations for help here, help there. If we come and do what God said, he will exhort us. That's foremost. But I'm going to show you guys these videos. And I want you guys to do research. Wake up before it's too late. Because they got something in store for us. That's why Christ said he's going to bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and plead for his people. That's us, the Israelites. And we got a lot of brothers, other brothers and sisters, other nations. They really heathens though. But they come into the realization they've been handed down lies. The Bible said they would do that also. So anyway, without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video and you go and do your research. Don't take no man's word for it. Come back to God. And this is your answer book right here. Question and answer. Anything you could think of about us is in this book. We're going through all of it. Until then, Till next time, this is the truth. I'm your host, Judah Zachariah Ben Israel. God bless and shalom.
Hi, Shalom, Shalom from Israel. This is Ola, the daughter of Jethro. And I just heard that you black people that was stolen from Africa to America, that you don't know who you are. But you are the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel. And I'm telling you, you have to come back to your homeland, here to Zion, to Jerusalem, because us the Gentiles, we do need you. We need you to come and pray, because you are our saviors. You're the one that was chosen by Yahweh to live in this land, not the Jewish people, it's you. You were stolen from Africa, they deceived you, they told you that you are slaves, but you actually the children of Israel. And it's time just to come back. Come for your people, come back for us, come back for the whole Gentiles, because only you gonna save us. So please come back to Zion.